So here we are at the lake. Again, we're back at my club water. A little bit chilly today, got my big coat on. And we're here to take a look at the Bodied Waggler. So this is what we made in the shed, and we're going to get it wet now and see if we can catch a fish with it. So let's take a look at how I've set up. So again, I have got a float rubber to stop the float from sliding up the line, and I fixed that on the other side with just one of the BB shots. Now the float is 3 BB and a number 4. So I've got one of my BBs up to there locking it on, and then coming down the line, I'm going to fish this very, very similar to how I fished the antenna float, if you saw that in our previous video. So I've gone right down the line there, and there I've got the other 2 BB and the number 4. So I've got 8-pound line on, so a little bit stronger today. I'll talk to you about my setup in a minute, but 8-pound line. So I've gone onto a hook link at the bottom, and that's a 6-pound hook link leading to a size 12 wide gape hook. So yeah, fishing very similar to the lift method that we did with the antenna float. So that's the setup. Again, nice and simple. So let's take a look at the rod and reel that I'm using. A bit of nostalgia for me today, because this rod, this is a Shakespeare 1842-360 0 series or O series. It's a 3.6 meter, which is 11'9", something like that. And I bought this rod probably in about 1985, 86, when I was about 13 or 14 years old. It is an Argos special. It came in a pack, and it had a rod rest and a bait tub and a packet of hooks and a couple of floats that were all rubbish. But yeah, it's a lovely rod actually. And what I really like about this rod is, although I'm not fishing this method today, I can put a quiver tip on the end. It's got a quiver tip screw-in section on the end eye. So yeah, really lovely rod. It's really nice and light. And I've paired that up with a DAM, however you want to call it, quick shadow. It's a nice center pin reel. Again, another eBay special. I think I paid 20 quid for this. It's a nice reel. It's not the greatest, but it does the job. It's a good entry level reel for if you're thinking about, switching over to a center pin. It's a great entry level reel. You can pick them up quite cheap on eBay. Second hand, as long as it says in good condition, you should be okay. So that's the setup. That's the rod and reel. We've already talked about the float. Now, while I was setting up, I was plumbing my depth and getting everything sorted out just a little while ago, I had a bit of luck, and I had a beautiful mirror carp, which I wasn't ready to film for. So I've got a little handheld camera, and Ali's here with me today, and she managed to capture the whole event on that little handheld camera. But it's not the greatest camera in the world, so I'm not sure what the footage is going to be like, but we'll add it in now, and you can see me hopefully landing that fish. And and then you can join me back here, and we'll get this float in and see if we can catch another one. So enjoy the clip. Just getting set up, plumbing my depth. Camera's not running. We're just recording on this dodgy old handheld that we've got. Just beauty. Try and get a tonic in a bit. Right there. So I've got my maggots on. I've gone for, yeah, like I said, a size 12 hook. So I've gone for 4 maggots, 2 red, 2 white, and they're wriggling around nicely. So let's get them in the water and see if we can get another one of those beautiful carp. So a little flick out and literally fishing at the end of my rod tip, really. So yeah, give that float a chance to settle. I think it's got caught on a little, there you go. So that's settled down lovely. Oh, is that a fish on that already? Can't be. Give that a little flick. Oh, I think I've got a bit of debris on the line. That's what's causing it there. Let's recast that. I think I've got a bit of debris on the line. Yeah, there it is. Let's try that again. Like I say, just fishing at the end of my rod tip. The float's going to pull up now as that shot sinks down. That's sitting there lovely now. So I'm going to chuck in a few pellets over the top. Just some 4mm and 6mm pellets I've got here. I've got a little combination. There's some krill in there, there's some green betaine, there's some robin reds, and there's some scretlings. There's a real mishmash of pellets. Get them over the top of the float. And then, yeah. So it's a grey and overcast day. No rain. The wind's dropped off, which is lovely. Perfect for float fishing. It's the same swim that I fished in for the antenna float and the insert waggler. So I'm really hoping that the swim is as active as it was last time. I'd say we've already had that one while I was setting up. So fingers crossed, it's a sign of things to come. Well, you know what it's like. Sometimes you get that early fish straight away and you think, yes, it's going to be a great day. And it turns out that's the only fish you catch, which is very annoying. But there we are. We've had one at least, so I haven't blanked. Oh, it's so nice to be out. A little bit of movement there. Yep. Oh, I was a bit premature there, I think. A little bit too eager. So let's try that again. And just flicking it out. And I say, just fishing pretty much at my rod tip. I'm about, 3 foot out from my rod tip. So another little pinch of pellets. Again, I'm only putting in, I don't know, half a dozen, maybe 15 pellets. Oh, that wasn't a very good shot. Let's try and get it a bit close to the float this time. That's better. It's nice to see that there's still activity in the swim. Not quite sure what's there. Definitely carp. But it'd be nice to catch something different, maybe a roach or a rudd. You never know, even a tench. There are some tench in here, but I think it's a bit early in the year yet. Still in February, as I said in the last video, we're still in February. That's a bit of movement. Is it going to sink? Also fishing for those lift bites. So if the fish picks up the bait at the bottom, the hook bait, and swims up, the float should rise up out of the water. It's a bit like the antenna float. It seems to be going down at the moment. There's a bit of movement there. Something's there playing with it. It's very tentative. Let's chuck in a few maggots over the top because we've got maggots on the hook. Let's put in a few loose offerings. Again, just half a dozen, 8, 10 maggots, something like that. And see what happens. Again, straight away, a bit of movement. All the fish swimming around, just the tails wafting past the line, and we're in. Oh, and the hook's pulled. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. That felt like quite a nice fish. A little bit of debris on the hook. Let's just clean that off. Maggots are all still good, wriggling around nicely. Right, let's get that back in. There we are. Settle that down. Another little pinch of maggots that seemed to work last time. Another little knock. Seems to be quite a sensitive float. It's quite slow in its movements. And we're in again. Let's hope it stays on this time. That's nice. Wow. It's a lovely bend in the rod. Oh, feels like a nice fish. I'm going to suggest that it's a carp. By the way, it's heavy and hugging the bottom. But who knows? I don't think it's a bream. There are some quite nice bream in here, to be honest. Some big old dustbin lids. Oh, it's going nuts now. Proper angry. I think it's just realised it's been hooked. Oh. Keep away from the staging. That's a little common. Very pretty. Quite a dark one. And very angry. That's a lovely bend in the rod. Love this rod. Fished with it for years. Right. See if you're ready for the net. Oof. Come on. And we're in. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, let's take a look at you. You're going to go nuts now, aren't you? You going to behave yourself? You're not, are you? How did I know that was going to happen? So the hook's just there. There we go. Wow. What an absolutely beautiful looking fish, although you're going to be very angry, aren't you? Let's just turn you upside down and calm you down for a minute. Right. You ready? There we are. Look at that. Lovely common carp. And that's a success for the Bodied Waggler. That's beautiful. Yeah. Fish of probably about £5, I'd say. Something like that. So, let's get it back in the lake and see if we can catch another one. There we go. And away. Thank you very much. Right, let's get reset up. See if we can get another one on the bank. Oh, so let's get some more maggots on the hook. So I'm going to go with 4 maggots again because that seems to be working. So we're going to go white, red, white, red. Let me know in the comments if you have a particular pattern that you put your maggots on with. I think I've said it before in another video where I'm really quite, I don't know what's the word, anal about how the maggots go on. They have to go on in funny orders. All these stupid superstitions that anglers have. So let me know yours. Drop a comment and let me know your silly superstition about what bait you use and how you use it and what colour they have to go on and what order they go in. Yeah, making me feel that I'm not the only one that's a bit obsessive. There we are. Right, we're in. Let's see if we can get another one. Let that float settle down. Good. I'm going to put in a few loose maggots over the top. Settle back. And wait. So let's just chuck in a few more pellets over the top. Oh, that was a bit far. That's better. That wind's beginning to pick up now. It's just affecting the float's performance a little bit. I think these floats are great for when it's really still. So I'm going to give it 5 minutes. We'll call that the 5-minute warning. Nothing happens in 5 minutes. I'm going to swap over floats and just change the method and the technique a little, and hopefully that'll help us. Okay, I'm going to give it a 10-second countdown, and then I'm going to take the float out and switch over to the stick float that we made in the shed as well. So let's give it that 10-second countdown. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1.25, 1, 3/4, half, quarter, 0 times up. Okay, well, we had a bit of luck. So what we'll do now is swap over to the stick float. I'll get some more bait in and see if we can attract the attention of a few more fish with the stick float. See you in a minute. Okay, so I've got the stick float on. So I'm using the same rod and reel for this float as well. So let's just take a look at how I've rigged it. So the wind's really beginning to pick up, which is a bit annoying. And as a result of that, if I don't fish the bottom, the float is just going to keep drifting away from me. I don't really want that. So I have, again, put the bulk of my shot, in fact, all of my shot, right down the bottom, and I'm going to anchor that on the bottom and fish slightly over depth, which is not ideal, but with the weather as it is and the wind as it is, we don't have much choice. So with the float, I've rigged it slightly differently. So I put the line through the eyelet, but I put a float rubber on the top. So the line is coming down through the float this time, and rather than it being locked on with 2 shot or 2 float rubbers. So I've got, what do they call that? A silicone band, rubber band there through the top of the float. So the line comes through that, down through the eye, and the weight's at the bottom. So I'm going to continue with the maggots because they seem to have been successful so far. The fishing has gone a little bit quiet, so hopefully a change of float will hopefully change our luck. So let's get some maggots on and see what happens. So what should we go? I've got a few bronze maggots in here. Let's try some bronze maggots. The red and white seem to have become less effective, so let's try some bronze. So we'll go with 4 bronze maggots. 3. 1 more for luck. There we are, 4 goldy bronze maggots. So I'm going to fish nice and close to the rod tip again, feeding the same swim. Drop it down. And I'm going to bring the line quite taut, so it's no movement with the float at all. It's connected. There we are. Now I've changed the colour of the tip this time as well. We've gone for a yellow tip, so it really pops in the water. It's really quite bright. And let's put a few loose offerings of maggots over the top. As you can see, I'm actually fishing it out just at the rod tip. Well, that wasn't a very good shot, was it? The wind took that. Let's try that again. That's better. Hopefully they'll flatter down. Fish will spot the movement. Oh, my goodness me. Well, that did change the luck, didn't it? Wow. That was almost instant. Well, it was instant. That's incredible. Oh, I can't believe that happened so quickly. I was getting nothing on the Bodied Waggler. Swap over to a stick float. Is it a case of right place, right time? Or is it a case of right float, right time? Oh. Wow. It's been a very good day so far. Another good scrapping fish. Wow. Putting a proper bend in the rod. Gonna get away from those roots. Give it a bit of sideways pressure. They don't like that. Oh. There we are, try and turn it. Wow, it's another reasonable fish. We haven't landed it yet, mind, but we'll see. Come on away from there. Oh, out the snags. Thank you. Sound on. It's on. Well, there we are. Not as big as I thought. It's a nice common. Hooked nicely in the mouth. Come on. Nice and easy. There we go. And we're in. Lovely jubbly. Cool. Another lovely looking fish. And the hook's fallen out. Look at that. That's what it was. That's what changed our luck. The bronze maggots. Definitely. So we'll try them again. So let's get that out of the way. Let's take a look at this beauty. Nice deep fish. There we are. And she's behaving herself. There we are. Look at that. An absolutely gorgeous looking fish. A lovely little common. Fantastic. Well, honestly, I think my luck has just about run out. So we're going to close out here with this beautiful fish. Lovely, great big tail. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you back in the pleasuring shed. And yeah, stick float works. Fantastic. So we are back from the lake. Welcome back to the pleasuring shed. Both floats caught us some fish. Magnificent. They both worked as expected. And yeah, we had a couple of carp, nice carp as well, on both those floats. I have to say, though, that after we finished filming, or as we were filming with the stick float, the weather changed. We had a sharp wind come in. It picked up a couple of miles an hour on the wind, and that wind was cold, brought the air temperature down by a couple of degrees quite quickly, and it just killed the fishing. I don't know what happened, but it just died, and we didn't have a single fish after that. So we packed up early, and we went home and had a nice chippy tea, which was lovely. So, but both floats definitely doing the job. So very happy with those. So we'll move them to one side, and we need to talk about what we're going to do next in the next video. We're going to step it up a gear. We're going to get things a little bit more technical. We are going to turn a piece of balsa dowel, this is balsa wood, and we are going to turn that into one of these. This is an Avon float or a stick float, depending on what you want to call it. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to do everything that is needed to make one of these lovely little floats, I hope. So join me again in the pleasuring shed in our next video. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up, click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it. Share it with your friends. If you've got any fishing buddies out there and you think, oh, you really enjoyed this, send them a share. It all helps me. It helps the channel. It helps us grow. And when we grow, we can do more videos and do more exciting stuff. So join me again next time. Tight lines. See you soon.